From KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
A San Antonio family has lost everything in a devastating fire early this morning.
It happened in the 2000 block of Harness and Rim Fire. That's off of Loop 410, the same house where a fire broke out just hours earlier.
Stephen Cavazzo shows us the frightening moments that have left this neighborhood shaken up.
For this neighborhood, those sirens were a familiar sound, and for the San Antonio Fire Department, a familiar area. Two fires happening in the same home, just hours apart. This video shows flames bursting through the roof of the home Monday morning, but crews originally arrived at the home Sunday night after a fire had broken out toward the back. Two people were able to escape with no injuries. Christopher Garcia is right next door. He and his wife say they were forced to evacuate Sunday night, and then just hours later.
We're outside in pajamas in the 40-degree weather.
Garcia showed us some of the damages his home sustained from the second fire, but he says he was more worried for his neighbor.
The gates are usually locked in the front, so we weren't sure we would be able to get to her.
Thankfully, SAFD says no one was inside at the time of the second fire. We spoke to the family of the homeowner off camera. They tell us she was recovering from a stroke, but now they say more challenges are on the horizon. Fire crews tell us the original fire led to about $10,000 in damage, but now they're saying the home is a total loss. SAFD says it's still not clear if the fire was a rekindle from Sunday night, but those flames caught the attention of Margie Claudio. She stopped by the home Monday morning, hoping to help.
I'm pretty sure she's devastated, so I just wanted to just come and see if she was here to give her some money.
Claudio says she doesn't know the woman, but shares her pain.
Just here seeing it, knowing the fact that she lost everything was just terrible.
Stephen Cavazzo's KSAT 12 News.
New at noon, a woman okay this afternoon after waking up to flames in her home. Fire crews tell us around 2 this morning she smelled something. She thought it was a space heater, so she unplugged it. But the woman left another one plugged in. This was in a room in the back of her home, and that's where the fire broke out later in the morning. So far, investigators think the cause was electrical and that the space heater caught something on fire. No one was hurt. It's not clear how much damage the fire caused. Also new at noon, a San Antonio man has been arrested by the FBI. He's accused of taking part in the Capitol insurrection in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. 37-year-old Matthew Carl Mazzocco was arrested yesterday here in San Antonio. That's according to San Antonio FBI Public Affairs Officer Michelle Lee. He is charged with knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building or grounds without lawful authority and violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. Mazzocco is expected to appear in federal court tomorrow in San Antonio. A second Texas man has also been arrested yesterday for his involvement in the insurrection.
Now to the coronavirus crisis. 1,676 new cases reported yesterday, along with 536 backlogged cases. The total of confirmed cases now at 148,555 since the pandemic began. Our 7-day moving average now at 2,072. And an increase in the hospitalization rate as well. Right now, 1,439 people are hospitalized, 436 people are in the ICU, and 244 patients are on ventilators. The U.S. is closing in on a record 400,000 deaths since the pandemic began. That's according to Johns Hopkins. And the race to vaccinate continues with rollouts much slower than anticipated. As ABC's Rena Roy explains, states are trying to speed things up, though.
The shots can't come soon enough. The latest U.S. epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic, Orange County, California, where a fourth field hospital is now opening. ABC's Kaylee Hartung was there.
At this point in the pandemic, what's keeping you up at night?
Vaccine rolling out fast enough and people not getting ahead of it.
America nearing a grim milestone, 400,000 COVID deaths.
It's sort of a controlled chaos at this point.
Mass vaccination sites popping up all over the country at Dodger Stadium in L.A., Miami's Hard Rock Stadium, New York City Field, even Disneyland.
All those can be put in place, but they're useless unless they have something to administer.
In many areas, there are more appointments than doses.
It seems like it's very disorganized. What's the point of making an appointment if you're going to stand here 3 or 4 hours to get in, and then you might not even get it?
The government pushing for at least 50 million doses to be distributed by the end of January. So far, only about 31 million have gone out. The incoming Biden administration vowing to speed up the process, telling CBS's Face the Nation.
We are confident that we have enough vaccine for the 100 million doses over the next 100 days. That is what the president-elect has promised. It will be a hefty lift, but we have it in us to do that.
I'd like to see them beat those numbers because we are in a very bad shape in the pandemic, and we need as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible.
In yet another challenge, at least 20 states have confirmed cases of that more contagious UK variant of COVID-19. Hospitals in England are seeing a new patient every 30 seconds. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and people all over the country honoring Dr. King's legacy. Although you won't see big crowds taking to the streets, usually San Antonio is home to one of the biggest events. Sarah Costa takes a look at how that came to be.
Every year, cities around the country march in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. So how did San Antonio come to be home to one of the largest gatherings in the country?
And when Dr. King was assassinated, that took him to a different level.
Inspired by Dr. King, Reverend Raymond A. Calley started a march in 1968 to demand better infrastructure on the east side. It's been said that about 30 people showed up that year.
Reverend Calley kind of started marching before people even knew what marching was. He was always out there trying to get attention. And I think that's when he caught the ear of Henry Cisneros.
In 1986, the city of San Antonio established the MLK Commission, and a year later held the first official march where Rosa Parks joined in. From there, more and more big names like John Lewis and Tom Joyner attracted bigger and bigger crowds.
And we did the live broadcast at the Municipal Auditorium, which is now the Tobin Center. And it was so many people, you couldn't even get in. And it was all races, all ages, trying to get in there to see Tom Joyner. Then it began to track other speakers. Those people started saying, yes, I need to go to San Antonio for this.
The 30-people crowd eventually grew to 50,000, then 300,000.
I think we would have probably had 500,000 this year because there's so many things, there's so many issues that's out in the community.
I love this spot because it's on a hill, and as you look back, when you see the crowd assembled, you understand the crowd estimates of 100,000 people. It's hard to...
That was our Sarah Costa reporting. Martin Luther King Jr. Day looking a bit different here in San Antonio. The traditional march reimagined as a virtual event this year due to COVID-19 concerns. According to organizers, the 2-hour-long event showcasing Dr. King's work and the history of the holiday. It was streamed on several platforms, including the San Antonio MLK Commission's Facebook page. Yaki Smith is the man behind the MLK film. He says it was something that he was compelled and inspired to do. Smith, who is a San Antonio native and graduate of Incarnate Word, was approached by the MLK Commission in August to recreate the historic march. He's also an associate dean of film at the University of Texas. He spent the last few months working to put the film together, hoping it will serve as a message to future generations.
In 50 years, in 60 years, in 100 years, somebody will find this and it will be an artifact of where we are right now in our current moment. It'll be an artifact of the mission and the message of Dr. King.
Renee Watson, the chair of the MLK Commission, says by hosting a virtual march this year, they're hoping Dr. King's message will reach an even bigger audience and lead to progressive conversations.
Good rain chances headed our way. Frontal boundary tomorrow that cools us down too. We've got the latest forecast coming up.
We have probably seen the end of an era if you watched the Saints-Bucks game last night. We'll talk about that coming up.
And after the break, people continue to leave their home states. They're flocking toward Texas. Details on why people are making the move to the Lone Star State. Live look outside with Live Cam. Murky out there, drizzly out at the ranch.
Yeah, cloudy, gloomy. This should change. We're going to see some sun this afternoon, but rain is on the way next couple of days. Pretty decent chances headed our way. And the aquifer has been benefiting. Doesn't jump up today, but I think it will in the coming days. It's holding steady at 665.3. And your pollen count in Mount Cedar did jump up a little bit. It's at 2,030. Mold is in the low category. We'll talk about those rain chances and how long they'll hang around this week. That's coming up.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
People are figuring it out. More and more of them are leaving California and they're coming to states like Texas. Even one of the most wealthy celebrities, Elon Musk of SpaceX and Tesla fame, has recently moved here.
Max Massey has more details on an interesting survey by U-Haul on the most popular destinations out of California. And Texas is actually not number one.
According to a recent story published in the San Francisco Chronicle, new data from moving equipment company U-Haul shows far more trucks left California than entered in 2020. The state ranks last on the company's list of migration growth for 2020. So who ranks first? In this reverse gold rush out of California, the U-Haul survey showed most people are going to Tennessee. Texas ranking number 2, followed by Florida, Ohio, and Arizona. U-Haul says this is the first time Tennessee has been number 1 and the 5th time Texas has been number 2. Texas had the largest net gain of one-way U-Haul trucks for 3 consecutive years before Florida flipped the order and became number 1 last year. U-Haul executives say Tennessee is similar to Texas and that it has no state income tax, very business friendly, and there are plenty of jobs. Growth states are calculated by the net gain of one-way U-Haul trucks entering a state versus leaving that state in a calendar year. The data is compiled using more than 2 million one-way U-Haul truck customer transactions. States like Colorado, Missouri, Nevada, they were also very high on the list. Joining California at the bottom of the states, those are Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, and Louisiana. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Now, the data compiled used more than 2 million one-way U-Haul truck commercial transactions.
States like Colorado, Missouri, and Nevada were also high on the list. Joining California at the bottom of the states include Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, and Louisiana.
Or Louisiana.
What?
What?
What's going on there? Why are they leaving Louisiana?
Because it's always raining in Louisiana.
Oh.
It's high humidity, right?
Well, yeah, and they had, what, 5 hurricanes this year?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I can see why they might be at the bottom.
They'll come back, though. They'll come back. It is a beautiful state. We've got some clouds out there right now, cloudy skies, but I think we're going to get some sun this afternoon. Those clouds have been with us through the morning time and still pretty murky looking as you go outside. Temperature is 58 degrees, southerly winds at about 7 miles per hour. And as we look at the satellite picture, it's basically just Bexar County now underneath this cloud deck. It's starting to fade away as you get out in the Medina County. Sun is out now in Seguin, starting to see some peaks of sun in New Braunfels. Even far eastern parts of Bexar County, the sun is trying to pop out. So I'd give it another hour or so, and we may be looking at partly cloudy skies. Where we are seeing more sun, temperatures are starting to pop up. 65 in Seguin, 66 in New Braunfels, 61 Pleasant, and 57 though still at Stinson, and 58 at the airport. 63 Carrizo Springs, and a nice 67 out in Del Rio, where skies are clear there. There was some fog this morning. Visibility is still down a little bit here in town, but that's starting to lift. And there is still just a little bit of drizzle out there. One of the reasons we saw all that, of course, is the increase in moisture. Dew points jumped up with a southerly breeze, and now we've got dew points in the mid-50s. Even some 60s on the map, so that puts it in the muggy category. We'll get a frontal boundary through here tomorrow, so the dew point will sort of fall off once again. But it'll peak tonight, likely in the 60s even here in San Antonio. And that will lead to some more drizzle, and it could be a little bit damp tomorrow morning, and then we'll see showers through the day tomorrow. So there is plenty of moisture to work with. And we look at the big picture. You see the clouds stretching from Dallas to San Antonio over towards Houston. And as we go out west on our water vapor, we can pick up some spin in the atmosphere. There is our upper level low, or at least part of the energy that is going to be bringing us some rain chances. There's another piece of energy up here. These sort of combined forces out to the west over Southern California. That throws some disturbances in our direction. I mentioned we have that front tomorrow. We have some moisture. So all the ingredients are really there. This is more of a spring-like pattern, if you ask me, as far as the sort of the setup here. And so rain chances stay with us tomorrow and into Wednesday. But even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think we still have some chances here as we still get some energy coming in out of the west. This is Thursday at 6 o'clock. And you see the low starts to move in our direction. Here's what the forecast is in the short term. I think we get partly cloudy skies this afternoon, and then tomorrow clouds fill back in really quickly. So we're going to start off drizzly, sort of damp, and then here comes our front. Should be here by I'd say the afternoon hours. As it moves through, we'll see showers and storms develop along that. And then when some of that energy comes in out of the west, we should see some more showers Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. And that continues through the day on Wednesday. Maybe a little bit of a break Thursday, but again, some rain chances do kick back in on Friday. And as far as rainfall potential, this is very generalized because it's going to be hard to pinpoint exactly where the heavy rain falls. But there could be some spots that get up to an inch. Maybe 3/4 up to an inch, half an inch down to the south. And that's good. We certainly will take it at this point. We're still well below average when it comes to rainfall over the last 6 months or so. 70 degrees today. Once the clouds clear, southerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, and then not cooling down all that much tonight with added cloud cover. 60% chance of rain tomorrow, 66. Behind the front, it will be cooler. 55 Wednesday. That's it. 50% chance of rain. 20% chance on Thursday, 66, and just a 30% chance early on Friday. And then another system brings us some rain chances over the weekend as well, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, but the Chiefs able to hold on for the victory. And the Spurs are on the road in Portland today. We'll talk about their weekend and what lies ahead.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Hey, we witnessed history last night in the NFC divisional game. Two of the oldest quarterbacks to ever face off in the playoffs. The Saints, Drew Brees, Bucs, Tom Brady. First time they have ever met in the postseason, and probably their last because Drew Brees is expected to retire. Second quarter, 6-3 Saints. Brees is picked off by Sean Murphy, bunting, and he takes it all the way back down to the 3-yard line. On the very next play, Brady to former Aggie Mike Evans. It's 10-6 Bucs. Saints respond, trick play. Quarterback Jameis Winston is going to end up with it, and he is going deep. Little razzle-dazzle and throws it for Traquan Smith. 56-yard touchdown, 13-10. Ended up tied at half, 13-all. Third quarter, Smith gets another touchdown reception, this time from Brees, 16 yards. Great catch. 2013 New Orleans. Brady responds. 6-yard pass to Leonard Fournette to put the game tied at 20, and that's the score headed into the fourth. It's 23-20. Bucs score. Brady touchdown, 30-20 Bucs. Turnovers were just too much for New Orleans. This Brees pass goes off of Jared Cook, and it's picked off by Mike Edwards. That's going to do it. That's the third interception. Fourth turnover of the day. Brady and Bucs are off to the NFC Championship after a hug and a congratulations. It's 30-20 is the final over the Saints.
You know, last time we played them, we gave, we lost a turnover, -3. Today was +4. You're not going to lose many games when you're +4.
No regrets. Man, I've always tried to play this game with a great respect and a great reverence for it. And man, I appreciate all that this game has given to me.
He didn't exactly say he was going to retire, but chances are he will. He will go down as one of the all-time greats on and off the field. All right, so here's your matchup. It's the Buccaneers and the Packers in the NFC Championship game. That's Sunday, 2:05. It's supposed to be below freezing in Green Bay on Sunday. Hey, two former Texas Tech quarterbacks facing off in the AFC playoffs yesterday. 25-year-old Tyler Texas product Patrick Mahomes and 25-year-old Lake Travis product Baker Mayfield. Mahomes trying to lead his team to back-to-back Super Bowls. Have to get past the Browns first. Good start for the Chiefs. Second quarter, Mahomes finds a wide-open Travis Kelce, and watch him just bull his way into the end zone. Boom! He knocked his own player over to get in there. 20-yard touchdown. It's 19-3 at the half. But things got a little scary for the Chiefs in the third. Mahomes keeps it himself, running right, basically gets bulldogged into the turf. Not only was he slow to get up, but he was pretty shaky when he gets up. Watch what he does when he, look at that, almost falls back over, has to have his teammates help him up. He was done for the day, headed for concussion protocol. After the game, head coach Andy Reid said Mahomes was okay, though. Meanwhile, the Browns continue to come back. Kareem Hunt powers him for 3 yards out, and then all of a sudden the Browns are down 5 with backup quarterback Chad Henne. Runs out the clock, finding Tyreek Hill on a 4th and 1. That was a gutsy call. Chiefs escaped, advanced with a 22-17 win over the Browns.
There's a lot of great players around me that made me feel confident, and just went in there and try to take what the defense gave me and make some plays while doing that.
Chad came in and uplifted us. We uplifted him, and we just rallied together, man. And that's what this team did, offensively, defensively, special teams. We circled the wagon and got a little bit tighter as a group, and found a way to win against a good football team.
All right, so this will be the second game on Sunday, the AFC Championship, Bills and Chiefs. 5:40 kickoff. And the Spurs are in Portland getting ready to take on the Blazers this afternoon. Over the weekend, they wrapped up a two-game series with the Rockets. The Rockets won Thursday right after they traded James Harden to the Nets. Kind of surprised when you think about it, because the rest of the Rockets apparently just wanted to prove something. So they took it to the Spurs, but that wasn't going to happen 2 times in a row. So Saturday, the Spurs took over in the fourth, outscoring the Rockets 28-19. Jakob Poeltl had a big game, 13 points, 11 rebounds. So now they are on the road for 2. So far, they have a record of 5-2 on the road. Better than at home, but being on the road is not what it usually is.
We had a good road trip last time. I think being home for a bit was good, but we got a good opportunity against Portland and Golden State. Obviously, very quality oppositions and a chance for us to continue to grow. On road trips these days are different than what they used to be, with protocols and being in the hotel and whatnot. So, one of those mixed feelings, I guess. You look forward to going to city sometimes, but when you can't get out of the hotel, who knows? But, our track record definitely from our last road trip was good. So, hoping to continue that road efforts.
Yeah, I don't have any fans screaming at him from the stands either. So that's a big difference. 4-1 on that last road trip. This is a 2-gamer. And this afternoon's game is at 2 o'clock. Martin Luther King Day special this afternoon. Yeah, okay. 2 o'clock.
Still ahead in our half hour. Hundreds of thousands of boxes just sitting inside processing and delivery centers. How much longer you're going to have to wait for things you may have ordered ahead of the holiday?
Plus, increased security across the United States. Details on what is expected as we're just 2 days from Inauguration Day.
The United States remains on high alert this week. We are just 2 days away from Inauguration Day. So far, 21 states have activated their National Guard troops to protect their capitals. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest, as new video from inside the Capitol the day the violent mob broke in has surfaced online.
Over the weekend, storm your own Capitol buildings. Hang up! The New Yorker magazine releasing this chilling new video of the violent attack on the U.S. Capitol.
And we're outnumbered. There's a million of us out there, and we are listening to Trump. You're the boss.
Angry Trump loyalists on the hunt for Vice President Mike Pence and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Some seen removing items belonging to members of Congress, others taking pictures of documents on lawmakers' desks. The FBI investigation netting dozens of arrests, including several with ties to law enforcement and the military, some with links to extremist groups. Investigators are also hunting for this Pennsylvania woman who's accused of stealing a computer from Speaker Pelosi's office, claiming she would sell it to a Russian spy agency. The nation's capital prepping for an inauguration like no other seen in U.S. history. Thousands of armed National Guard troops surrounding the U.S. Capitol, bracing for any potential threat to Joe Biden's swearing in as president on Wednesday. In the heart of the city, fences with razor wire installed and security checkpoints leading to the arrest of people trying to breach the perimeter. An inauguration already modified because of the coronavirus pandemic, now scaled back even more after this violent insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
How serious is our country going to take domestic white extremism? And I think what we saw here last week is that we didn't take it seriously enough.
The Army confirming it's performing background checks on National Guard members amid fears of a potential insider attack.
It's just another layer and then a layer on top of that, just to be absolutely certain. But everybody joining the military is screened in, and for an event like this, you're screened out.
As some of the rider's own family members have been tipping off investigators in Texas, the FBI arrested a suspect who they say threatened to kill his own relatives if they turned him in. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
New research shows election misinformation on social media plunged 73% after companies banned President Trump and his allies. A San Francisco-based analytics firm reviewed posts from before the ban and compared them to posts after Trump's removal from Twitter. Election fraud conversations went from 2.5 million mentions to under 700,000. Experts believe the numbers are confirmation for those who say the president spawned a bubble of lies. The president and some key supporters are banned from Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and other platforms.
Meantime, the popular right-wing social media app Parler went back online this weekend. CEO John Matzes implied that Parler has a new hosting platform. Amazon says it removed Parler after its far-right members made threats of violence. Whois research shows that Parler's domain is now registered to Epic. That company works with other social networks popular with the far-right group called Gab. In this message, Matzey speaks to what he calls both lovers and haters. He says Parler is supposed to be a platform that protects privacy and enables free speech.
The 18-year-old that was sentenced to 2 months behind bars in the Cayman Islands for breaking quarantine rules is finally back on American soil. Skylar Mack was required to quarantine for 14 days, but after 2 days in isolation and a negative COVID test, Mack removed her wrist monitor, breaching quarantine to watch her boyfriend, a professional jet skier, compete in a race. Both Mack and her boyfriend were detained and initially ordered to pay a fine and serve 40 hours of community service, but after a legal back and forth, the couple was sentenced to 2 months in prison, ultimately serving 32 days behind bars. Overseas this afternoon, Russia's most prominent opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, has been jailed awaiting trial in Moscow.
He was detained just minutes after landing back in that country after he nearly died of a poisoning attempt last year. ABC's Julia McFarland reports.
Putin's fiercest critic, Alexei Navalny, detained minutes after landing in Moscow last night. The moment live-streamed by journalists, capturing Navalny's kiss farewell to his wife, Yulia. This morning, bizarre images of a trial set inside a police station just outside Moscow. Navalny says Putin must be so scared of him to throw all legal procedure out the window. His lawyers only getting alerted minutes before. The judge putting him away for 30 days. A hearing over whether he should be jailed for longer officially starts next week. Navalny fell critically ill back in August on a plane in Siberia and was airlifted to Germany to undergo intensive treatment. Tests by a German military lab revealed he had been poisoned with a Novichok nerve agent, a Soviet-era weapon that was famously used on the streets of Salisbury in England 3 years ago against a former Russian double agent. His supporters hoped to give him a hero's welcome returning home, but they were blocked by police, who detained dozens of them. Authorities diverting his plane at the last minute to a different airport. Navalny defiant, saying he would not be forced into exile despite knowing he would likely be arrested as soon as he landed, telling reporters, "I am not afraid." Julia McFarlane, ABC News, London.
Outside with live cam, mild 61 with some disturbances out west. I love that. Disturbances out west. Coming our way.
David, I like how you threw that in there. Hey, the sun's trying to pop out too, so we're going to get some sun this afternoon. That'll boost temperatures. It'll turn into a pretty nice day. The changes in those disturbances are going to head our way next couple days. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. We've got clearing skies this afternoon. Drizzly showers likely tomorrow, so have the umbrella with you. Be ready for sort of a wet commute tomorrow morning. We'll get some rain chances on Wednesday too, so we'll have a couple shots here to get some much needed rain. Looking at the visible satellite picture, that cloud cover that was over us, look how quickly it's starting to shrink now and really dissipate. Sun is starting to pop out here in town, and we'll continue to see that trend into the afternoon. Probably some partly cloudy skies a little bit later today. A little closer look here at San Antonio, and still mostly cloudy, but those clouds are quickly fading. Temperature-wise, 55 Boerne State, 65 Comfort, 60 Canyon Lake, close to 70 now in New Braunfels, 69 there, 63 in Pleasanton. And the forecast for today does call for that temperature to be up near 70 degrees, southerly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. The pandemic forcing organizers of big events to make big changes. Still ahead, how one convention is offering music lovers a virtual experience this year.
And some holiday gifts still have not been delivered. Meanwhile, scammers are hoping to take advantage of that. What you need to know coming up after the break.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
Some shoppers are still waiting for packages they ordered ahead of the holiday season. According to postal workers in the Philadelphia area, hundreds of thousands of boxes are just sitting inside processing and delivery centers. The unprecedented backlog expected to take weeks, if not months, to be sorted out.
The employees of the Postal Service are doing everything within their power. We will clear this mail. We will get these packages delivered. Just know that the people that are moving this mail are doing everything within their power to get it done.
More than 1 million packages were delayed across the country for more than 30 days during the busy holiday shopping season. Now the FTC is warning about scammers taking advantage of the delays. They're sending text messages saying you're being reimbursed for your delayed package. You just need to click on the link. The FTC saying these phishing scams are an easy way for criminals to get your personal info. So pay attention.
I waited 6 months.
No, really?
For a Christmas gift to arrive last year. I learned my lesson.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, well, it was a birthday gift instead.
There you go.
Just pre-gift that it works. Outside right now, you guys are looking at live cam. We've got some sun trying to pop out. Temperatures right now at 58 degrees, but they're going to pop up very soon. We're going to see these numbers go up probably into the 60s, if not close to 70 this afternoon. Averages are 63 and 41. Records are 85 and 11, set back in 1938 and at 1930. Rain chances all this week. We'll talk about the 7-day forecast coming up.
Have we got deals for you? Welcome to KSATdeals.com. Now, this next deal will help you to create those flawless pictures every time, and we are going to give it a try today. This home streaming studio by Aduro Ustream Lite is here to help you upgrade the quality of your photos and videos. Now, right now we have the ring light focused on me, and I'm going to turn this one on. There you go. It's as simple as that. Turns on via remote to help you make your Zoom meetings perfect and your selfies flawless. They have 3 lighting options: white, warm yellow, and warm white, so you always have the perfect light. 10 levels of brightness. An adjustable tripod comes with it, along with the remote control and a non-slip rubber grip to securely hold your phone while streaming. Now, don't worry about batteries. It is USB powered. The retail price $99. The KSAT deals price $49.99. That is a 50% discount. You can find this deal and many more at KSATdeals.com.
Did I hear you right? It's going to be a little bit breezy out there today?
Yeah, a little bit breezy with some winds out of the south.
A little breezy, huh?
A little breezy. Yeah, you know, we've been watching about Cedar. Today, the count is up to 2,030, up a little bit from yesterday. And you can kind of see where the ebb and flow there of the Cedar. But you know what's even more frustrating is that over the weekend, we had dust mixed in there too. So that not a time where we want to deal with allergens, but that's exactly what we're dealing with. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm hopeful that the rain, what rain we do see, could help to wash some of this out of the atmosphere. Let's go outside for you right now. We've got mostly cloudy skies, starting to see some shadows out there, so we know the sun's popping out. 58 degrees at the airport, 59 Stinson, 61 at Kelly. We're now up to 63 at Randolph, and yes, the winds out of the south, anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, a little bit breezy from time to time. 65 Comfort, 59 King of the Lake, 69 in New Braunfels. That's one of the warm spots where the sun is out there. 61 Castroville, 59 right now in Hondo, and 67 currently in Del Rio. There are some 70s on the map as you get down towards Kennedy and Victoria. Dew points on the rise. We've got that southerly breeze ushering in quite a bit of moisture. Dew points down in the mid-50s, and these will jump up into the 60s by later tonight. So it'll turn rather muggy, and that will lead to some drizzle and some light shower activity tomorrow morning. Those wind gusts right now gusting to 24 miles per hour in Gonzales, 24 in Victoria. I think we can see a few gusts here in San Antonio, 20, maybe 25 a little bit later this afternoon. Those clouds have been with us all morning long, and drizzle and fog too, but that is very quickly gone away, and you can see the clouds just sort of falling apart here. We'll get partly cloudy conditions here within the next couple of hours. Big picture, we go out west. There's nothing there yet, but we are expecting an area of low pressure to develop right there, somewhere around Southern California. And that is going to be throwing some disturbances in our direction. And also, as it moves towards us on Friday, still giving us some rain chances. This is tomorrow, the setup. We've got a disturbance rolling through. We'll have a frontal boundary, some overrunning. It's a decent setup for rain. I don't think that we're going to see maybe heavy rain, but light showers and just sort of the sprinkly stuff through the day. And then as we get into Wednesday, similar setup with a chance of showers once again. Thursday, maybe a little bit of a break, and then as this moves towards us on Friday, we'll have another shot, at least Friday morning. So a lot to look at there in the 7-day forecast. In the short term, I think we get clearing skies, and then the clouds fill right back in tomorrow morning. Showers, some light drizzle. As a front comes through, this doesn't show a whole lot, but I think we could get some showers and maybe a storm as the front works through our area. And then you get some of that overrunning, and it's going to be damp tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, too. Those showers going to hang around through the day on Wednesday before, again, we get a little bit of a break on Thursday. Still a 20% chance, but falls off quite a bit. 30% chance on Friday as that storm system comes in. And then there's another one behind that. So we've got to put some rain chances in Saturday and Sunday, too. Today, temperatures up close to 70 with partly cloudy skies around 5 o'clock. And then we'll see those numbers fall down into the 60s by 7 o'clock and then eventually low 60s by midnight. Tomorrow, 66, 60% chance of rain, 55 on Wednesday, quite a bit cooler behind that front, and then 66 Thursday, 73 on Friday, and then some 60s and 70s over the weekend with additional rain chances, as we mentioned, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Yep. An annual music convention going virtual. How organizers decided to do something different and allow the public to participate at no charge.
Box office numbers are still low. However, one movie did hit its target and snag the top spot. Details coming up after the break.
Weekend box office numbers are in, and the top movie was The Marksman. Liam Neeson. It's a thriller premiering with $3.2 million. Not a whole lot. The animated sequel, The Croods, A New Age, stayed at second place with $2 million. Wonder Woman 1984 fell to third place. The superhero adventure lassoed $1.9 million in ticket sales. Tom Hanks and News of the World came in fourth. The Western earned $1 million. Monster Hunter finishing in fifth place. The fantasy film bringing in only $920,000.
An annual music convention isn't taking place this week due to the pandemic.
But you still can participate virtually. CNN's Rick Damigella reports.
This week was slated to be the date of the 2021 NAMM Show, the annual music industry trade convention in Anaheim, California. Like all large gatherings, the COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of the industry-only event. But the people behind NAMM decided to do something different and allow the public to participate at no charge.
When we knew we couldn't do it physically, we had to think carefully, okay, what parts of the NAMM show could be replicated online in a virtual world, and which parts did we have to leave behind? So we really kind of focused on three main areas: new product launch, education, and training. And to the best of our ability, build the community, the sense of community that happens at the NAMM show. And then the third part was through Believe TV and some of these other networking opportunities online. We're still trying to connect people, even if it's virtually, so that they still maintain that sense of community, even in our quarantined isolation. So I think one of the long-term effects is that people are going to discover that, hey, you know, I used to play, or I've always wanted to play. And so if they have discovered or arrived at that place, you know, Believe in Music Week is going to be one of those places where you'll find out everything to support or, you know, to confirm that bias you might have. I'd love to play. I'd love to be creative. Think about the world we live in and this kind of challenges we're all facing. I think a little more music could go a long way in learning to live with our brothers and sisters a little bit, you know, a little more harmony. So if they're taking a vote, I'm in, you know, I'm for more music and art.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Justin Timberlake and his wife, Jessica Biel, have welcomed a new member into their family. The 39-year-old singer-actor confirming Biel gave birth to a son they named Phineas. Timberlake made that announcement during a virtual appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. The couple, who were married in 2012, also have a 5-year-old son named Silas.
David Hasselhoff is auctioning off this car here. It looks like Kit from his 80s TV show Knight Rider. It didn't appear on television, not this one, and it's certainly not talking like the computer that he had in that car in the series, but it is Hoff's personal Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The current bid is $500,000, far above the estimate. So Hoff says if the price comes in at 25% above the reserve figure, he'll deliver the car himself. This Martin Luther King Jr. Day, San Antonio Live is supporting local black-owned businesses, bringing us a soulful performance and sharing some inspiration with us.
Mike and Jen, show us what's on tap today.
Yes, the show is all about MLK Day and all the wonderful folks in our community.
Yes, and that also includes the local black-owned businesses that we love to support all year long. Weathered Souls is one of them with their Black is Beautiful beer initiative. Our David Elder takes us there to get a taste of that and a little bit of the story as well behind that.
Can't forget about the food. We are going to a barbecue spot, and oh my goodness gracious, the things that this guy can do with all the smoker.
Love that. And the books, of course, to get your little ones involved here on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The San Antonio Public Library has you covered with the top picks that you can read today and all year long, really.
How about a little bit of designer glitz and glamour? That's always fun to kind of take it up a couple of notches.
Yes, this salon in Universal City takes things up a notch. You're right about that, Mike, and they do everything to make you feel beautiful inside and out. Plenty of businesses on the show today, that and much more.
Yes, it's all coming up. Stay tuned.